Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praise unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And this is just going to be an update, some news that I've seen. So I'm just going to go through it in the spirit and filter it through the scriptures. Now, this scripture here, Ephesians 5:15 says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly." So the scripture, Yahushua himself told us to watch as well as pray. So we constantly supposed to be on our watch, looking at world events in your everything, looking at events in your own household, looking at events in your local vicinity, events in your city, events in your country, events in other countries worldwide. Completely circumspect. Okay, let's look that word up. So basically, you gotta keep an eye on everything, man. Mainly these world events, though. All right. It says act exactly, accurately, diligently, perfectly. All right. See, how'd you get a perfect view? It's a 360, and you gotta zoom in too. All right. So that's what we're doing. Not as fools, but as wise, meaning you got these other people, they might look at the world, but they look at it through the eyes of the world. If you ain't filtering the scripts, filtering it, everything that's going on around you through the scriptures, then there's no point. You got to do it as wise. Be circumspect, not as fools, but as wise. With the wisdom comes from these scriptures. All right. The depths, it tells you about that. The depths of the wisdom. All right. Scripture turn around and tell you wisdom shall be the stability of their times and strength of salvation. All right. All right. So it says redeeming the time because the days are evil. So let's have a look at that. Redeeming the time. To redeem. To redeem, meaning to buy up for oneself, for one's use. All right. What's that doing? Yeah, redeeming the time. Buy up the time, meaning you got to utilize the time that you have in righteousness, man. You're going to be wasting time getting too much into the world and other such things. You got to use the time that you have correctly while you still have it. The scripture says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. So, use your time studying, meditating, doing videos if the spirit's on you to do that, whatever the case may be. Put more of your time into spiritual things, man. Redeeming the time because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. So that's why you go in. How do you know what the will of the Lord is? You go into the prophecies. All right. You go into the prophecies, which the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. This word is about prophecies, about the will of the Heavenly Father. So we know the things which are to come to pass. Okay, we know about the time of Jacob's trouble. We know about World War III. We know about the martial law. We know about the mark of the beast. But we also know that 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed. And we know that an elect, the ones who have faith in Yahushua, are going to be saved. Okay, this is the understanding. Now, the first article I want to bring out, because you got this satanic unholy feast day coming up, beginning with April 19th, which there's a lot of buzz around that one this year, with them building the Temple of Baal, or the Ark from a Temple of Baal in New York and London. which New York is what, the Empire State. London is one of the city states for financially, because a big part of this New World Order is financial, it's economic, bringing a new economic order, right, together, which subsequently on April the 19th, I believe it's written here, China has announced gold-backed yuan on that date. So that's all part of it, man. All them economic moves you see going on are being really orchestrated by the elites to bring in their new world order on an economic level. All right, and London is a big part of that. Okay, but yeah, April 19th leading up to May 1st. All right, which that's dealing with Baal. Now we know Baal is basically just a play on Horus, which they're all connected to the mother goddess, which is Isis. Okay, which it's not a coincidence that the terrorist group founded by the CIA happens to be called ISIS. This is all witchcraft. All them MI6. If you look up the logo, if you look up the MI6 logo, the logos for most of these military units and these secret services all go back to Masonic origins. That's why Aleister Crowley was an MI6 agent. All right, all these secret, there we go, all these secret, as your MI6, it's oh, this is MI5, but you get MI6. It's all satanic, man. All right, they deal with witchcraft, man. They're a bunch of witches and warlocks, and the higher you get up in the MI6, the CIA, and the military, the more they open you up to that witchcraft. All right, the Pentagon, it's all witchcraft. All right, so all this stuff is tied in. A lot of these conflagrations that happen around the world are nothing but blood sacrifices to the end of the enterprise of the elites, which is the New World Order. You feel me? So in this article then it says the political insider breaking enormous ISIS terrorist attack warning issued. Yeah, come in, bro. Breaking enormous ISIS terrorist attack warning issued. Be on alert, which, you know, we always on alert anyway. And when you see them guys putting out these alerts, sometimes they put out this alert as just to continue the what's it called, the what's the word I'm looking for? They put out these things, these threats, to continue the atmosphere of fear. Okay, because fear is a big motivator. Just ask the Most High. Okay, with fear you can control people, man. All right, so and you can influence their actions. It's one of the most powerful emotions that a human being has, is fear. You know, you can motivate someone to do something. You put a gun to their head, you gonna find it real easy to make them do what you want, compared to, you know, appealing to their goodwill, so to speak. All right. So, but a lot of times when they bring out these threats, they know, the insiders know when it's a real threat, and they're pushing it out there, and, you know, they're gonna put little keys in the articles or in the video to let the insiders know that, yeah, something's about to go down. We don't know, you know, because I'm not an insider. I'm not deep into the dark arts like that. But they know when they put out these things, there's a way for the insiders to know what's real and what ain't real. Now it says, while the media focuses on the presidential primary campaigns, the Islamic State ISIS is spreading around the world while threatening our way of life. Which this is fabricated. ISIS is not spreading around the world nowhere. This is just a CIA front. If any terrorist attack occurs, it's gonna occur because a black ops unit carried it out, not no ISIS. ISIS is just a name they're using right now to bring in this. Basically, they're using the name ISIS because they're doing it under the power of the Queen of Heaven. That's really what it is, to be honest with you. It ain't no large group of Arabs working independently invading Western countries. That's all bullshit. That's all set up to bring about what they want, which is the martial law and all that stuff. The real war ultimately is going to be between the West, America, and its allies, and Russia and their allies, man. And they both have allies in the Middle East. This whole thing about Islam versus Christianity is not real, okay? It says, now the terrorism chief of the UK has issued a huge warning. You know, I don't know what the other forms of warnings are for such an event, but this one is a huge warning. So, you know, as opposed to just a warning, alerting citizens that an enormous and spectacular ISIS terrorist attack could happen very soon. Now it's funny he uses the word spectacular. Let's look into this word, because that could be the code right there. We don't know. That could be the code. Hold on, he said spectacular, right? The word spectacular means beautiful. Hold on, it means beautiful in a dramatic and eye-catching way. So hold on, are you telling me that ISIS terrorist attack is a beautiful? Does it fit? So this dude's an insider. That could be the code right there. I don't know. I'm just saying. Why would he use that term to describe a terrorist attack? A spectacular. This is like it's a fucking show. It's not. Well, it is a show for the elites. Okay, and they're gonna be watching. ISIS terrorist attack could happen very soon. This is horrible. That's not in quotation marks, so I think that's just this guy putting in his emotions. He said, British police are preparing for enormous and spectacular potential attacks on the UK as ISIS moves into its next natural phase. How can ISIS be moving into its next natural phase when they haven't even managed to conquer the Middle East? What, like, that doesn't make no sense, man. That doesn't make no sense, man. What is the next natural phase? If they're trying to form a caliphate, right? If you're gonna form a caliphate, you gotta have a foundation. They tried to take down Syria and it didn't work because Russia took their ass out. That the next natural phase should be to redouble their efforts and take out Syria or take out Israel. Why are they gonna go and start another war with Britain doing a terrorist attack? What is that terrorist attack against Britain gonna achieve but give Britain more onus to use their superior military might to crush them? What will it achieve for them to do a terrorist attack? You don't conquer a nation by using a terrorist attack. Terrorist attack is used. A terrorist attack in its natural course is used by a weaker force who are trying to repel occupiers from their spot. There's no use in you doing a terrorist attack in the UK because the only thing that's going to happen is whatever you blew up, they're going to rebuild and they're going to take them big guns that they got over here and go where you are and put more hell on you. So it's all bullshit. Why? How is it the next natural phase? Showing you it's all set up. This thing is completely artificial. Just like everything else in the so-called white man's kingdom. It's not natural. It's artificial. It's set up, man. Britain's senior counter-terrorism officer said Monday. It's bullshit. Ain't no counter-terrorism. They are the ones controlling that. Mark Rowley, Assistant Commissioner of London's Metropolitan Police, said that in the wake of the Paris attacks, which we've seen that those were set up, that the French intelligence agencies were in on all that, man. And again, what was the result of that? The French sent more boats over there to the Middle East, and they cracked down with more martial law and started oppressing the Muslims in France even more. So what was the victory in that? There was no victory.
There is no victory with terrorists.
There is no victory, man. So this natural phase of shit is bullshit. Okay? If you're forming a caliphate in the Middle East, you forming a caliphate, man. See, that's all bullshit. ISIS had moved on from a narrow focus on police and military as symbols of the state to something much broader. So now basically what they're doing is they're spreading the scope of terrorism to everything and ultimately everyone. I was watching the film last night, Fifth Wave, and even in the film, what did they say? The others, they look like you and they could be anyone. That's really the spirit they want to bring about, because ultimately the elites, they have a depopulation agenda, and basically they're going to just be killing people, man. That's really the goal. And the people they kill are going to just be deemed terrorists, and that's the bottom line. You're either going to be a citizen of the New World Order or you're going to be a terrorist, man. Right? And you ain't going to have a beard and look like Ali Baba, man. You know what I mean? You could be a white boy with blonde hair, blue eyes, and you talking about how you don't want to be part of the New World Order. You don't like the Rothschilds. You goodbye. Okay, they're gonna dust you straight up. You see a terrorist group that has big ambitions for enormous and spectacular attacks, not just the types that we've seen foiled to date. He said, citing as another example the downing of Metrojet Flight 9268. Now hold on, if this terrorist attack was so much about terrorist attacks, how many terrorist attacks has there actually been, man? You know what I'm saying? Like in London, how many terrorist attacks has there actually been? There's not been that many. If we're at such a great war and these guys are so about doing terrorist attacks, man, terrorist attacks should be happening every month, every week. It ain't hard. Alright, it says ISIS claimed responsibility for the bombing of the jet over Sinai in October. All 224 people on board, most of them Russian, were killed. Rowley also mentioned the need for investigators to guard against terrorist attacks like the recent explosion aboard a Somali passenger plane flying above East Africa. The suspected bomber was blown out of the plane and died, and 2 others were injured in that attack, for which the jihadist group Al-Shabaab took responsibility, which they're all these different groups are set up, man. Rowley added in the UK Telegraph that their targets are bigger than ever, and they are ready to strike at the heart of our way of life. Yeah, what does that mean? What that basically means is they're ready to bring in the chaos, to destroy the old way, and to bring in the new way. This is all, what do they call it, man? Cryptid speech. You know? What was you saying?
Social engineering.
Social engineering. Okay. And it ain't ISIS that's doing it. Alright? And it said what? They're going to be bigger than ever. Them terrorist attacks are basically sacrifices, which is the point I'm going to go into. He said, in recent months, we've seen a broadening of that, much more plans to attack Western lifestyle, and obviously the Paris attacks in November. Okay, going for, and they're succeeding, because the Western lifestyle that is being removed is your liberties. That's what's being removed, and that's the whole point. It says you're gonna go from you go out on a Friday night, you go to the club, and you straight up boot on your neck, New World Order, complete martial law forever with a chip in your hand, where everything you do is quantified and controlled by an elite. So say goodbye to going down to the chippy and buying yourself as much fish and chips as money can buy. You're going to be on the quota now. You understand what I'm saying? That's the world that they're going to bring in. A world of quotas, of quantification, of control, of surveillance. And most of these nations, the elites have got them going that way. Like China just bringing in a surveillance state. That's the New World Order. Alright? That's the way of the New World Order coming in. It says, and you see a terrorist group which is, wait, hold on. Where are we supposed to be? Okay, going from that narrow focus on police. Wait, did I read that already? Oh yeah, he's just repeating himself. There we go. You see a terrorist group that, whilst on the one hand has been acting as a cult to use propaganda to radicalize people to act in their name, you also see them trying to build bigger attacks. So check this out. Unlike America, England actually has leadership that will call the threat what it is. Islamic terrorism, whatever. You know, it's whether they want to play that game or not, who cares? It's not Islamic terrorism. It's terrorism by the elites to bring in the chaos, to bring in that new world order, man. We're not fooled. And I had another article here, but it seems to have disappeared. But I think that's the point on that. So just see if I had any other articles. Anyway, I want to bring out this because they've said this, they've issued this, and we're leading up to that April the 19th, which is a satanic unholy day, right? Check this out. This is the scriptures, what the scriptures say, Isaiah 47:12. It says, "Stand now with thine enchantments and the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee." Now the reason why I'm saying this is talking about from the day of the Lord, from destruction. But this is the Lord acknowledging and letting you know that these elites, these Babylonians, these people, they are wearied in enchantments, man, and sorceries, and they deal with the astrologies and so forth, and blood sacrifices and all these things. And they always have done from the very inception of their kingdom. They've dealt with that. So look for more blood sacrifices. Look for more in the form of terrorist attacks and different things and biological weapons, because to bring in their new world order, to receive the power, because they believe in the spiritual realm, to receive the power according to them to enter into the new world order, they have to what? Depopulate, right? Well, guess what? A big part of that depopulation program is a sacrifice. They're basically saying that the majority of the planet Earth need to be sacrificed in order for them to have a new world order. So it's a blood sacrifice. 9/11 was strategic, but it was also a blood sacrifice. Okay, these things that they do go hand in hand with blood sacrifices, man. So you got to keep an eye out for these major events, man. And more of these events are going to happen leading up to the real major blood sacrifice, which is going to be what? The martial law and the World War III. Because World War III is going to kill a innumerable amount of people. That's a massive blood sacrifice for them to try and bring in their new world order, man. All right. So, I didn't have nothing else on that. I don't think. I thought I had another article going into the 19th, but like I said, you see here, even on this alert, you know, heads up, on the 19th, China has announced Go Back 1 on this date. This date, will this announce sync with all the warnings concerning pending terror attacks? So we got to keep an eye out on that, because we know April 19th is the beginning of a unholy time for them, and a time for them to send up them blood sacrifices, because they worship devils, man. They worship demons, man. And and they believe in that power. Okay. So with that, I'm saying shalom.